Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on a Wednesday morning because Chairman members cashed in on 5 different premium selections on my premium site yesterday. We had the Pelicans, Red Wings, T-Wolves +7 covering the number under in that Brooklyn game, and we also hit on a 2-teamer. And the only way you could have accessed all of those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive Chairman package. Chairman members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my NBA free pick video here today for Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. Happy hump day to you. Weekend's right around the corner. We are halfway there. Of course, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. And if you want to see which one of these free plays on this video that I actually like the best, you once again may want to think about becoming a Chairman member on my premium site. I got over 1,380 members who are signed up and active on my premium site right now. Once again, that site is patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Pacers squaring off against the Pistons. That'll be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Indies -9.5, totals 233. And for those who, for some reason, don't already know, the Pacers score a lot of points. They lead the NBA in points per contest, and they also lead the league in shooting from the field. And it's Pascal Siakam who's actually leading the charge with over 20.5 points a night, 54% shooting from the field as well for Siakam. Meanwhile, Aaron Nesmith, he's been a legit deep ball threat this year. He's knocking down 44% of his three-pointers. And even if the Pacers don't shoot well, the Pistons are probably going to put them to the line a lot, at least. Detroit's allowing more made free throws a game than any other team in the NBA. And it should come as no surprise. The Pistons are allowing over 120 points per contest this year. Now, injury-wise, Gibson and Fontecchio are both questionable. Stewart, Grimes, and Thompson are out. Meanwhile, for Indy on the other side, Doug McDermott is questionable. When it comes to the total, the Pacers saw overs recently against the likes of the Bulls and the Mavericks. They're also averaging 120 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Detroit. Needless to say, the over cashed in 70% of those gatherings. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. And as far as the Pistons are concerned on the other side, they saw overs recently against the likes of Dallas and Brooklyn. Give me the Pacers -9.5, over 233. Next ball game, Heat, Cavs, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Cleveland's -2, totals 204. And it does feel like Miami's going to have problems getting on the scoreboard here today. They're already a bottom 5 point-producing team. Meanwhile, the Cavs on the other side, they're allowing fewer points per contest than most clubs in the East. They're actually in the top 3 in the conference right now in defensive field goal percentage. Darius Garland leads the active roster in steals. That's steals per game here today. And once again, that's the active roster. Normally it's Donovan Mitchell, but he is not shooting up here today. Jaren Allen, he's got the most blocks. And they're facing a Miami squad on the other side of things who, once again, they struggle on the offensive end of the court. Miami's actually a bottom 3 point producing team in the fourth quarter, doing a bad job getting on the board late. And when it comes to grabbing boards, well, they don't do that well either. They're a bottom 5 offensive rebounding team in the East. Now, injury-wise, Butler, Adebayo, and Jovic are questionable. Hero, Robinson, and Love are out. Miami saw unders in their last 7 straight. 75% to the under in their road games for the entire year. Meanwhile, Cleveland saw unders in 6 out of their last 10. Give me the Cavs -2, under 204. Next contest, Bucks, Celtics, 7:30 Eastern start time. Boston's -10.5, totals 224. Now, the Celtics should be able to exploit a Milwaukee club here today who's going to work without the Greek freak. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he is out with a hammy. And even the Bucks, even when they're mostly healthy, they're playing some shoddy defense this year on the road. Milwaukee's currently in the bottom 10 in points allowed per game while traveling. And they're facing a Boston club on the other side who makes more three-pointers a game than any other club in the NBA. Derek White makes 40% of his attempts from three-land. And, of course, Jason Tatum, well, he scores the most points. Now, real quick, out of the Celtics' last 6 ball games, they covered the point spread in all of them. So it's a team who's winning games, steamrolling teams, and covering the number as well. And that's all that matters when you're betting these games. Now, injury-wise, Holiday, Brown, and Hauser are questionable for Boston. Once again, Giannis out for the Bucks. And when it comes to the total, the Bucks saw overs recently against the likes of the Suns, Clippers, and Lakers. They've also allowed 117 points a game in their last 10 meetings with the Celtics. So once again, if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Now for Boston, on the other side of things, they saw overs recently against the likes of Washington, Phoenix, and Denver. Give me the Celtics minus 10.5, over 224. Next game, Kings, Raptors, 7:30 Eastern tip-off. Sacramento's minus 11, totals 233.5. And as pitiful as Toronto's been, well, Sacramento's failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6 themselves. Failures to cover against the likes of Memphis, New York, and Houston. They also have a losing record against the point spread in their out-of-conference ball games. And don't get me wrong, right? The Raptors don't do much right. They don't do much well. But, you know, they don't foul a whole lot when they're on D. They're actually in the top 5 in the league in free throw attempts on defense. And more recently, well, the Raptors did cover the number against the likes of Denver and Phoenix. So, you know, catching double-digit points in this spot at home, it could be a thing that they can do here. You know, they might not win outright, but they could be able to cover this, and they should be able to cover this number. Now, injury-wise, Pirtle, Boucher, Barrett, Quickly, Barnes, and Carton are all out for the Raptors. When it comes to the total, Toronto saw overs recently against the likes of the Nuggets, Blazers, and Pelicans. The Kings are 14-9 to the over against the Eastern Conference. Give me the Raptors plus 11, over 233.5. All right, next matchup, Jazz Thunder, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Oklahoma City's minus 15, totals 232. And even though this is a huge number, well, OKC continues to roll. Winners of 5 out of their last 6. 27-7 straight up in their own building. And guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, well, they're going to help you win ball games. Shai scoring 30 a game. He's making 54% of his field goals. And I'll tell you, if you want to talk about Iron Man, Shai's missed only 1 game this year. This is a guy who's reliable and produces day in and day out. And speaking of which, well, teammate Chet Holmgren, he's yet to sit out through 67 games this year. Hasn't missed a game. Holmgren's drilling nearly 40% of his attempts from three-land. So hasn't missed a game, and they've certainly needed him because he has been doing a nice job shooting that deep ball. And, of course, they're facing a Utah team on the other side who's been horrible on the road. I mean, this is a completely different team when they travel. Out of 33 contests away from Salt Lake City this year, the Jazz have yet to reach double-digit wins. They're just 9-24 in their travels, and they're just allowing way too many points. Utah is giving up more points a game on the road than any other roster besides one. Now, injury-wise, Clarkson and Markkanen are out. Collins is questionable. 5 out of the Jazz's last 8 contests did get over the number. They also gave up 119 points a game in their last 10 gatherings with OKC. Needless to say, they overcashed in 70% of those meetings. And Oklahoma City saw overs more recently against the likes of Memphis, Dallas, and Portland. Give me OKC minus 15, over 232. Next contest, Clippers, Blazers, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The LA Clippers are minus 12.5, totals 217. And even though Portland's pathetic, it's actually the Clippers who've had a tough time covering the point spread recently. LA failed to cover in 6 out of their last 8. They also struggled defensively late in games. They're currently in the bottom 10 in fourth quarter points allowed. Backdoor's always open, especially with this high number. And speaking of the number, Portland, well, they've done a bang-up job of covering recently. The Blazers are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. And they're tough to shoot the long ball against. Portland's in the top 5 in the NBA in three-pointers allowed per game. And when it comes to the final frame, well, they really put down the clamps. They're in the top 5 in the West in fourth quarter points allowed. Now, injury-wise, Brogdon and Sharp are still out. Thibault and Grant are questionable. Meanwhile, for the Clippers on the other side, Norm Powell's day-to-day with that leg injury. Russell Westbrook's still inactive as well. Now, total-wise, the Clippers saw unders in 5 out of their last 9. Meanwhile, Portland saw unders recently against the likes of the Knicks, Hawks, and Celtics. Give me Portland plus 12.5, under 217. Next contest, Grizzlies, Warriors, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Golden State's minus 11, totals 218.5. And once again, folks, we've got backdoor problems in this one. That's a weird choice of words, but it's true. We got backdoor problems because Golden State gives up way too many points late in games. I know that's questionable verbiage that I'm using, backdoor problems, very weird to say. But Golden State, they're allowing more fourth quarter points than any other roster except for one. Meanwhile, on the other side, well, the Grizzlies, they do tighten things up late. Memphis is allowing fewer fourth quarter points than any other roster except for one. And out of their last 8 games, the Grizzlies covered the point spread 5 different times. So it's a team who's been covering here recently. Once again, Grizzlies covering in 5 out of their last 8. Now, injury-wise, Memphis pretty much has a small army on the injury report, so I'm not going to list all of them, but it's in the double digits. This is a team who's kind of unrecognizable, but plays tough and scrappy on defense. Meanwhile, Golden State on the other side, Moody and Green are questionable for them. When it comes to the total, the Warriors saw overs in 4 out of their last 6. Meanwhile, Memphis went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me the Grizzlies plus 11, over 218.5. And with that, folks, we are going to jump into our next and final matchup here for the video. It's going to be in that Sixers-Suns game. That'll be a 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Phoenix is minus 9.5, totals 223. Now, Phoenix is a bottom 5 three-point making team in the West. They've been very little threat, shooting a lot of 3 balls. And, of course, Philly on the other side, they guard the 3-ball well. The Sixers are in the top 5 in the East in defensive three-point percentage. And Philly also tends to tighten up defensively late. They're allowing fewer third-quarter points than any other roster except for one. And I'll tell you, that's certainly bad news for Phoenix because they're the worst fourth-quarter scoring team in the game. Now, injury-wise, Okogie and Lee are still out for the Suns. Melton, Covington, and Embiid still out for the Sixers. Harris is questionable as well. Philadelphia saw unders in their last 6 straight. Phoenix went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Even the Sixers plus 9.5, under 223. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Give me the Pacers minus 9.5, over 233. Cavaliers minus 2, under 204. I'm hitting at 70% my last 10 extra daily picks on my premium site. The link is in my bio. Boston minus 10.5, over 224. Toronto plus 11, over 233.5. Oklahoma City minus 15, over 232. Portland plus 12.5, under 217. Memphis plus 11, over 218.5. Give me the Sixers plus 9.5, under 223. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium site. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site at patreon.com/BrockPage.